What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. Today I want to jump in and just immediately start talking to you guys about Kang the Conqueror. So I was really excited about this character getting his update and finally becoming available. I definitely believe that the timing of him coming out and getting released is a little terrible. I don't feel like Marvel Future Fight devs are doing such a great job at capitalizing on the momentum of things. So for instance, you know, when the Kang the Conqueror was going to be inside of the Ant-Man movies and he was revealed there, and when he was released inside Loki's series, that was the opportunity for you to for the Future Fight Netmarble team to take advantage of the momentum that was there. A lot of people were amped about Kang the Conqueror inside there. That was the opportunity, in my opinion. Now, the good thing about Kang is that we know Kang is the primary antagonist inside of Phase 5. So we are probably likely to see him inside the Loki series, the next season 2 of Loki. You're more than likely to see him inside Kang Dynasty and Avengers. Thank the heavens that, you know, Jonathan Majors is, personal woes are behind him, and positive spin for him at the moment for whatever's going on. So a lot less there for Marvel and studios in general to be worried about. Although they could just make the DC move like DC did with Ezra and just not give a fuck, right? If it was true at the very least. But thank God Jonathan Majors is innocent, or at least at the moment appears to be innocent, and we are still going to probably get him. So the good thing about that is that Kang, where he currently sits, is his native tier 3. Is he powerful enough to be a good character? Yeah, so I'm going to tell you straight up and honest, no. Meaning that he doesn't do anything exceptionally well. That's just the truth of the matter. There's nothing that he does exceptionally well inside the game. He's not doing PvP exceptionally well. I ran him a couple of teams for Otherworld Battle. He does fairly well, especially with his revive. But ran him World Boss Legend. He completes content for me there. But there's other characters that I'll just say right out, I'll just use those characters over Kang, so that way I have an easier time of it. And that's just the truth of the matter. I did kit out Kang too, because I was really excited about playing the character. So I gave him a couple of Odin's blessings. I didn't finish out the kit. I plan on doing that. Skill wise, his skills are lackluster in my opinion. What I mean by lackluster, I mean that his skills, the VFX on these skills, they're nothing to write home about at all, to be perfectly honest with you. So I don't have his artifact. I tried to acquire the artifact, wasn't so good. I am rocking a CTP of Authority. Yes, I know that I can do better on my CTP of Authority, and I plan on re-rolling my CTP of Authority, but I just haven't yet. So that's the truth of the matter, right? So yeah, so let's take a look at his skills overall. The uniform, not bad. It's the uniform that we've basically been seeing from the character. I expect to see something better when we get Kang Dynasty and some of the other movies where he's possibly gonna be hanging out. So that's the build overall. The really cool part is that for me, with my crystals and my cards and stuff like that, I was able to max out all his stats immediately. So all his stats are maxed out exactly as they are, which is really nice. So let's take a look at Kang's ability. So first up, no uniform yet, and that's a good thing, because that means he has plenty of room to grow with a uniform. Although I do agree with people that this dude should have been tier 3.5. He should have been really freaking powerful for a native tier 3, and he just doesn't feel it that way. So his leadership applies only to himself, almost like Doom. He increases all basic attacks by 55%, and then to allies, he removes all debuffs when debuffed. So that's pretty cool, right? Good leadership for himself. His passive ability, he gets Temporal Resurrection, gives him 50% chance to penetrate, and then when he's dead, he revives for 100% of max HP. You get Kang's Fury, which has an increased additional pierce damage by 5%, and then the skill damage and bonus damage by 40 and 40, and he decreases the basic damage that received by 40%. So with just those kind of stats there, you can see why I think a lot of people were looking at this character potentially playing very well inside of PvP. But I think there are better options than Kang right now. So that's just the truth of the matter, right? So his first skill is Conqueror's Sword. We get bleed on the skill. We also get paralysis, which ignores immunity, and we get decreased the recovery rate, which by 50%, which also removes elasticity. So everything about that says PvP skill. But as you can see right there, like, I don't know why, but that skill feels so 2018 to me. Just 2018 about that skill. The VFX, the way it looks, 2018, right? So then we get Temporal Counter. I think I kind of went through these already in another video. We get Temporal Counter, which has active counter attacks on it: time freezing, stun, incapacitation, paralysis. He also recovers 5% of his 15% of his HP. So that's on the 2 skill. Nothing to write home about here either, though. That skill just looks so old. Then we get Time Space Domination, Burn, Silence, Paralysis, Barrier, and his Accumulation, all on his 3rd skill. Nice little summon things down, and then, you know, Infinite Wave going to the top. But just, man, we get a V-Pad skill and his Inescapable Fate on his 4th skill. Burn, Bleed, decrease recovery rate for 50, and increase frenzy buff for 45, 1, and 30. And like I said, really cool V-Pad skill, right? So just don't move around too far, because you notice the ray doesn't actually track. Like, look at this. I move away from it, it's still doing the damage, but it's weird. Like, something's wrong with that. You guys might want to fix that, because it just looks like whatever is doing the attack over there, it ain't him with his ray over here. You know what I mean? So yeah. Then we get his 5th skill. We've seen this one before. He basically summons in meteor showers, right? We've seen that skill. A la Thanos, a la Jean Grey, so we've seen that one a couple of times, right? Burn, deals damage 50% overall, and then he gets his tier 3 skill inside of here, which, you know, it's alright. Like, it's nothing to write home about, though. It's essentially, it looks like they reused 2 of his skills to basically accumulate them and make them look like a tier 3 skill. Now, he does get a artifact that I think people will want, because he increases basic damage dealt to the superhero faction by 20%, and then increase basic damage to supervillain faction by 20%. So I think people will want the artifact. I planned on trying to get the artifact. Unfortunately, no dice. Now, the cool part about Kang is that 2 things that's going to happen with a character like Kang, right? Is essentially, I feel like you set a bad precedent, and you really push the envelope about what you need for this game going forward, because you're releasing tier 3 characters that feel underwhelming, and these are native tier 3s. So a native tier 3 character shouldn't feel like my free-to-play, you know, tier 3 character. A native tier 3 should feel more powerful than my native tier 2s. They should feel like some of the most powerful characters in game. And I know that they've done this now with pretty much all of the World Boss Legends, with the exception of Jean Grey. So like, if you were to go to World Boss, right, and you broke down the list of the characters sitting inside there, well, there's Null, whether it's Mephisto, whether it's Infinity Ultron, whether it's Kang the Conqueror, or whether it's Gore. So that's 5 of the 6 World Boss Legends that they have released as like either native, you know, tier 3s or whatever. These characters all feel underwhelming. Like, these should be they're World Boss Legends. These should be some of the most powerful characters that we have in the inventory to use in the game. Should they be eclipsed by their tier 4 characters? Yes, sure, I understand that. But essentially, with the exception of Dark Phoenix, you've got 5 other World Boss Legend characters who represented cosmic level threats. I mean, they literally affect all of type, maybe with the exception of Gore, but the rest of these characters, they really represented, like, at least their incarnations in the comic book. Like, Null came to Earth and was fucking up the cosmos, and then came to Earth and was fucking up everybody there and turning everybody into symbiotes. I don't see that power reflective inside Null. Now, he was one of our very first World Boss Legends and stuff like that, but maybe it's time to give this dude an update, right? Because he should have been a really, really powerful character, but he just didn't play out that way. Mephisto, this dude is a threat on another level, like another level. And I don't feel like his, you know, he was fun for a while there. I think where he sat inside the meta was pretty cool. I really liked using him as a World Boss Legend clear as well, but not there. Infinity Ultron never felt like Infinity Ultron. Never felt like the badass that, you know, you would have expected Infinity Ultron. This is a dude that is possessing all of the Infinity Stones, and he feels like he might as well be tiers down on the list. Understanding that he's not, you know, a native character, but like, man, it's just terrible. And then Gore was the same thing. He's pretty strong still inside PvP and somewhat there inside the meta, but like overall, if I had to judge this character and say like he was representative or indicative. Now, what I would really hope for Gore, for them to do a uniform, and I've said this before in previous videos, is give Gore the comic accurate look that he has, to beef him up in terms of power there, and then make that uniform representative inside the World Boss Legend type, you know, deal. I really think they should do that. You know what I mean? Like, just go for it with Gore. Like, I feel like Gore, Infinity Ultron, and Dark Phoenix are supposed to be like, well, nah, Gore, Dark Phoenix, and Kang are supposed to be like the new evolution of World Boss Legend type characters, but they don't feel that way. So let's see what they do for it overall. I am happy and excited about those Kang being in the game. I just would like to see him represented better. Now, he is a very expensive upgrade. Between him and Luna, they basically killed my gold purse. Leveling up Luna, leveling up Odin, and then leveling up Kang, that was a resource drain in terms of gold, and it was a resource drain in terms of materials as well. Specifically, like, you know, my Essence of Dimensions and my Titan component packs, which brings me around to my last point to advocate that I'm happy that they've put these ultimate clashes and all wars here, because this is something that you guys really should be playing on a day-to-day basis in order to reap those rewards. Because combining these fragments, you see here, I've got 145 combinations that I can make here. Between those combinations, I almost guarantee you I'll probably be back up at 20,000 of those materials to basically level up characters inside there. Definitely something that, especially now that it's inside your daily checklist, you definitely want to make sure that you're playing these 4 modes and getting the rewards from them, because they're gonna give you some good overall. I think they're gonna give you some good, between those fragment combinations, they're gonna give you some really good items inside here, if not just these. So you might not hit every single time, but getting the Essence of Dimension and the Titan component packs alone makes it worth it to make sure that you're completing those every day. So let me know how you guys are liking Kang the Conqueror so far. Is he really helping you out in any certain game mode that you didn't anticipate him helping out, or he's pretty much what you anticipated him to be? Until next time, peace.